Hello, welcome back everybody. It's your old man Mark Bryce. In today's video, we're gonna go ahead and remove the reverse LED lights from your Jeep Grand Cherokee 2011 through 2021. That is the altitude, the high altitude, the Laredo, the SRT, the Trackhawk, more of the WK2 models. So you see, now you'll probably notice that your reverse lights have that ugly yellow urinating color that cars from the 2000s used to have. It is now 2024, why do we still have it? Now, you may be thinking, well, you can replace them with some cheap knockoffs from eBay that cost $10, but the license won't work anymore. You may be right. You may want to spend about $80 to $190 on the Dynamics. Now, is it worth it? It's all up to you. Do you need to get that much bright reverse lights? You may be in an area where you need it. Okay, more kudos to you. But do you really need to spend $190 for 4 reverse LED lights? No, not really. Dynamics came out with a different version where it's about $80 for a set of 4, and all it really does has the same output as your factory, and it replaces that yellow ugly color. But do you really want to spend $80? Or you can go on eBay, put the link below, where you can spend $20, which I just did, and bought 6K LEDs, same output. All you're really doing is removing that ugly yellow urinating color and putting in that cool white LEDs. Now let's go ahead and replace it so your car can look more modern. Let's go ahead.
All right, so the first thing you want to do is pop the trunk. Now keep in mind, you're gonna have 4 sets of taillights to remove. The first ones are the obvious ones. We're gonna go ahead and remove this guy right here, and to do so, you're going to see a cap here and a cap here. To remove these caps, you're gonna see a little groove right there. You're gonna take a small flathead and you're gonna pry this out, as well as these. You can just move this around. You see that groove right there? You're just gonna pry it out. All right, once you get enough space, you can just pry this out. And then you're gonna go ahead and do that with all 4. Once you go ahead and you remove these 2, this, you can just wiggle it out. You're gonna need both hands to take out this tail light here. Once that's removed, all right, so you're gonna take both hands and wiggle it out, rock it. Let's take this out right there. And then you're going to see where you're gonna need to unplug. And again, we're doing the reverse lights, which is the one at the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna work with this one right here. Okay, again, we're doing the reverse light, which is the one at the bottom. So you're gonna go behind, and this is the one that you're gonna be working with, the one at the bottom. All you gotta do is just twist it. And now let's remove that ugly halogen bulb. All right, so now we're gonna open this. This is what I paid on eBay, 20 bucks. I'll put the link below. It's white 6K LED. And I'll show you which is the one for the inner tail lights and which ones are for the outer tail lights. So let's just take this out. Okay. So outer tail lights are these guys right here, and this is the inner tail light, the one that you're gonna have to the one that's on top when you open your trunk, the one that you're gonna have to take out the housing for. This is the one that you're gonna have to replace, and this is the one that's outer, the easy one to take out. So let's do that now. Okay, we just removed the outer one, and we're gonna replace it. As you can see, it's the same size. So let's go ahead and do that now. I just gotta be very careful because I don't wanna touch it with my dirty, dusty fingers. Make sure that the bulb sits there properly. It goes all the way in. Now let's go ahead and put it back inside its housing. Now you're probably wondering, which side does the LED bulb goes inside? Well, if you look at the socket, you're gonna see that all right, it is inside now, and I went ahead and twist this to make sure that it won't move. Nothing is loose, everything is secure. Now let's go ahead and put this back in. All right, so the bulb is back in here, but I haven't put the screws back in. I haven't fully put the tail light back in because I want to go ahead and test it out to make sure it works. So let me do that now. All right, so I just finished doing the driver's side. Again, it's the same as the passenger side. And then once you put it in, don't put the screws back in, just double check and make sure the LED works. All right, as you can see, these are the factory halogen light bulbs, the outer taillights. Now for the inner taillights, you're gonna need a pry tool, something to open up your trunk housing. Let me show you what we're talking about. All right, so I went ahead and pried this open. You don't really need to take out the whole housing. All you need to do is just pry this area right here to reach to this area right here. This you can just twist off. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in better. Right there. This you can just twist off. I can do it with my finger, but in order to do that, you need space. In order to open this, all you need is a prying tool, something like this. To pry this, obviously is very flimsy right here, but I was putting in the light one, the thin side, and then just moving it around to get to the thicker side, and then just kept on twisting it. However, if you don't have one of these prying tools, all you really need is a flathead and a cloth. Put the flathead inside the cloth so you don't scratch anything, and make sure it's thin as possible, just like that. And then you can work your way from here slowly. Again, you don't need to remove everything, just this area to get to that area right there. And there we are. That's the bolt that you need to take out, and we're gonna go ahead and put in the new LED bulb. I'm going to use rubber gloves for these just because my hands are very dusty, oily. I don't want to touch any of those LEDs there, but just keep in mind the terminals. Let me take it out. You see the terminals, right? Those terminals. Make sure you're putting it in correctly. And then once you do, and it's inside the socket, as I already took out there, right there. There you go. You're gonna put it in that right there. Once you put it in, get it inside the socket, and then have someone reverse it to make sure that it's working properly. And then you're good to go, and then just do the other side. Well, there you go. It is now there. Now all I gotta do is just put it back inside the hole, going in. Right there. Okay, just make sure it is tight and it doesn't move anymore. And you're good, and go ahead and check it out. It's very dirty. As you can see, my car hasn't been cleaned in years. I'm kidding. But before you put anything back in, make sure you double check your work and it's working properly. And if so, it works good, then go ahead, close this up. You don't even have to take out any of these screws, nothing, because all you're really doing is just replacing the LED. And if it works properly, close this up and then go ahead and pry this side open and do the other side. Okay, so we just did the other side and it works properly. Now when you're doing this side, just a tip, you can always work here because this has a nice gap. Take your flathead with the cloth, pry it out, and you're gonna go ahead. See if I can squeeze my finger in there. There you go. And that's the bad boy right here. I'm gonna try to do it with one hand. Twisting it. And there you go. And that's it. Put in the LED, make sure that it's properly in. I'm gonna put it back in the hole, double check, and then you're good to go.